Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. 3 topics for this video. The first one, Putin shows the Russian consistency. He vows to finish off Kiev's forces. That is, you guys want to fight until the last Ukrainian, or they want you to fight until the last Ukrainian. We will help you achieve that. First one. The second one, will Moldova follow in the footsteps of Ukraine? That is, they will step on Russia's dick and they will get smacked. Moldova will never join NATO or the European Union. Maybe the European Union, it has a chance, but definitely not NATO. They don't know it yet, or at least they still live in denial. And the last one, I made a video earlier today. I published it regarding Russia's plans for Ukraine's future. And I was very impressed by Putin's plan, because that's Putin's plan. Here I have step by step how the thing, according to the Russians, will play out. Let's start with the first topic. This comes from Russia Today. It is from 28th of March 2025. Russia will finish off, quote-unquote, Kiev's forces, according to Putin. The Ukrainian people must realize they were duped by the Western dream of inflicting a strategic defeat on Russia, the president said. Well, I agreed with that 100%. Ukraine will become broken into big interest, which is Russia, next door neighbor, Russia strong, United States of America, strong but not neighbor. It is neighbor in a proxy war, having, NATO close to Russia. And then the European Union tries to get some crumbs falling from these big dudes' table, feasting table. We want to be in, pick, here is a crumb. I already feel full. That's the European Union, full of shit. All right. President Vladimir Putin has declared the Russian forces are gaining momentum across the entire line of contact and could soon, quote-unquote, finish off Ukraine's military, while commenting on attempts by Kiev's European backers to derail a diplomatic resolution of the conflict. And I'm quoting, their European handlers convinced the Ukrainian leadership that they had to continue armed resistance, especially to the last Ukrainian, with the goal of inflicting a strategic defeat on Russia, he said. Putin accused Western leaders, especially former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, of underestimating Russia's resolve and warned that the country's military capabilities should not be taken lightly. He must have forgotten, according to Putin, that there are people like you, the weapons like your submarine, Putin told the naval crew. Apparently, he forgot, or maybe they simply do not understand what the Russian people are made of. The Russian president said the conflict is reaching a turning point and expressed confidence in the outcome, noting that, and I'm quoting, across the entire line of combat engagement, our troops hold the strategic initiative. Not long ago I said, we'll squeeze them. Now there's reason to believe we'll finish them off. Then I think a moment of realization must come to the Ukrainian people themselves. We are in favor of resolving these issues by peaceful means, but the root cause must be eliminated. We must ensure Russia's security for the long historical perspective, and that is NATO. Moscow opposes any NATO presence. These guys know it, but they ignore it. Why? What are they going to do about it? Now they got a bloody nose and they know that we got to negotiate. We're the peacekeeping forces right now. We're the mediators. No, you are the losing side. Let's call things as they are. But the Russians do not want to humiliate them. Remember how at one point Macron said, we should not humiliate Putin? It's the other way around. Now Putin is not humiliating them, telling them, no. You lost, we impose, but we call it negotiations. We call you partners. Let's talk, let's discuss. But actually from the discussions, the negotiation process, the peace process is actually Russia imposes. Whatever Russia asks, it gets. So far. And I can tell you what it's going to get. It's definitely going to get the Donbass and the Crimean Peninsula and more. It's definitely going to get Ukraine not having military, a real army. Definitely is going to get the ideology in Ukraine being gone. Certain kind of ideology is going to definitely have NATO out, and is going to definitely have someone favorable to Russia in power in Ukraine. All these things, they want it, and they will have it, and they will have it, and they will give the Americans some limited access to the Ukrainian resources and so on. They will work together at devouring the prey who was used by the Americans to devour the other ones. But things change, like the wolves. The wolves eat its own when one wolf gets injured, wounded. So they attack, let's say, an elk, one guy gets injured, that guy will be eaten. Why? The same here. That guy was used to attack the elk or the deer or whatever you want to use. But that got injured, and this guy's going to turn towards this one, which is actually Ukraine, and eat it. Who? The other wolves. Who are the other wolves? The strong ones. All right, that's the first one. They will fight, they finish them off. The war is over, according to Putin, militarily. We'll see. The next one. Kremlin response to arrest Moldovan governor's appeal to Putin. So, if you're not familiar with this, Yevgenia Guțul was arrested. Gagauz was arrested, and she landed in Chisinau, I think, an airport. And I think this is according to an investigation from 2023 or something like this. And I don't think that's the case. I think she just got over there. She's still in custody. And she asked Russia for help. And Russia said, well, thank you very much. We'll come and help. Like the Americans. Remember when the Americans enter everywhere else when they ask for help? You have a little faction over there, your faction. They said, we need American troops here to help us. Democracy is at stake. Freedom, the values. And the Americans, yes, we're coming. That's exactly what the Russians are doing. They're just copying the other wolves' methods. That's all. So let me show you how Moldova risks a heavy slap, and Moldova will never join NATO. I guarantee you that. Why? They just entered a war with Ukraine. Do you think they have a problem with 2.5 million people, Moldova? All right. Unless Moldova somehow unifies with Romania and automatically becomes NATO, But that's up to the Americans to decide that, and the Russians. So I'm going to show you also a map after we read this little article here. All right, Kremlin's critic of Moldovan government, Yevgenia Guțul, has been in custody since Tuesday. The Kremlin said on Thursday it has received an appeal by Yevgenia Guțul, the detained leader of Moldova's autonomous Gagauzia region, the Russian President Vladimir Putin, asking for help in securing her release. Guțul was taken into custody on Thursday evening at Chisinau International Airport, with the Moldovan authorities saying she was on a wanted list. In a statement released, maybe it was a provocation by Miss Guțul. It's always possible, right? I mean, it's possible. Could be 50-50, okay? Saying she was on the wanted list. In a statement released via her lawyers on Thursday, she accused the government of pursuing a plan to dismantle the region of Gagauzia's autonomy through lawfare targeting her administration. Lawfare. Also on Thursday, Guțul appealed to both Russia and Turkey to apply pressure on Moldovan President Maria Sandu, she's on Western payroll, administration in defense of Gagauzia's rights. In her message to Putin published on her Telegram channel, she said the region looks with hope and faith to Russia, a country that has, quote-unquote, never betrayed friends and always stood for those, and I'm quoting, who fight for the truth and their legal rights. Kremlin spokesman Peskov confirmed to TASS that Moscow has reviewed Guțul's request and said her detention was at odds with the democratic principles proclaimed by the West. Peskov has already condemned the arrest on Wednesday, calling on Moldovan authorities to stop putting pressure on political opponents. Russian Foreign Ministry, the great spokeswoman Maria Zakharova, echoed that criticism, accusing the government in Chisinau of cracking down on politicians and journalists who advocate for closer ties with Moscow. All right, so where is that? Right here. The Gagauz are a Turkish-speaking, predominantly Orthodox Christian ethnic group living in southern Moldova. I will show you. The region Gagauzia has been granted broad rights in self-government. Sandu has questioned Gutsul's mandate as governor, denouncing her former party Shore as a criminal organization. A court in Chisinau banned the party in 2023. That's how democracy in Europe and the West looks like. So where is... First, they say the Gagauz are Turkish-speaking. I hate this thing. Am I an English guy if I speak English? Am I a German guy if I speak German? Let's say I move to Germany tomorrow, and let's say I'm speaking German. I have, let's say, a residence over there. Or let's say I get the citizenship in Germany. Am I German? So I very much dislike this. If someone moves to, let's say, Israel and speaks, I don't know, whatever they speak over there, Yiddish or whatever they use, when they becoming Israelis, first you can't move over there, for obvious reasons. But no, it is ethnic Turks, ethnic Turkish. Why? Genetics, my friends, not what you speak. If tomorrow you teach a baboon to speak, I don't know, French, is the baboon going to be, I don't know, I was about to say a colon name. It's going to be a French? Well, they're trying. I mean, look at France's national team. They're all French. They are. But hey, the, what's his name? Hakimi, the I think is right winger defender in PSG, Paris Saint-Germain. He's Algerian. He's called African because he's from Algeria, but Mbappe is called French. Ah, my God. All right, so I hate this thing that Gagauz is a Turkish speaking. No, it's a Turkish ethnic Turks. So let me show you where this Gagauzia is located and how Moldova will never be allowed to become a NATO country. Here, this is Ukraine, right here. This is where the war occurs. Now, this is the baboon country of Romania right here, and this is part of the nowadays called Moldova, which is a little bit of Transylvania, Bessarabia, which goes like this actually. Gagauzia in this part right here, okay? So Gagauzia is in the southern part of Moldova. Do you think that the Russians who are right here, they will allow these guys to become NATO when they fight these guys not to become NATO? I mean, no. And you have close access to Odessa? No. The only way Moldova, Bessarabia, will become NATO is if they do this, unify with Romania, which the Moldova should not cry right now. The guys in Moldova should not cry. Oh my God, they're attacking us. No. In 1990, your government was waiting at the Prut River, was waiting over there for the Romanian delegation from sold out Romanians, Iliescu and Roman anyway, to come over there and sign the unification, and they didn't show up. So they sold you out, your Americans plus the Russians, Soviets, or whatever you want to consider them in 1990. And then what happened? You became independent, Moldova independent. Out of what? And now you're just used left and right like a whore. That's what's going on right now. So don't cry me a river. And then now you play all tough. We're going to be European Union and NATO. You ain't going to be that. You ain't. Why? Geopolitics. You got a strong neighbor who doesn't want you to do that. And they will not allow you to. They will not. Don't give me, who are they to say? They're the same as the Americans say about Greenland or Canada or I don't know, the canal in Panama. The same guys who brought democracy and freedom in Iraq and bombarded Yugoslavia in 1990. The same guys, which is the strong will have his way. Got that? All right. What do you think is going to happen? The Russians are going to push, and then it's going to threaten. You know what's going to happen? The Americans are going to tell the baboons in Chisinau, hey, release her. That's what's going to happen. Don't poke the bear. He's already angry. Leave him alone. All right, let's go to the key points from Putin's speech on placing Ukraine under United Nations control. That's very interesting. I'm just going to go one by one. And these are the points. Problem: collapse of legitimacy in Kiev. Second, consequences: power vacuum filled by radicals. Suggestion: UN-led temporary external administration. Temporary, that's the key word, right? And then purpose: restoring constitutional order and setting a legal framework for stable peace. not the only option, but a viable one. These guys are smart. Putin emphasized that the idea is not the only possibility, but an example drawn from historical precedent. Fantastic. This is just one option. I'm not saying other options do not exist, but it is hard right now, or maybe even impossible to lay everything out clearly because the situation is changing so fast. 6. Multilateral cooperation beyond the West. It says, we will work with any partners, the US, China, India, Brazil, South Africa, BRICS countries, and for example, North Korea. What country or what entity you don't see here? It's right here. He also stressed that Russia remains open to working with the EU, even though Moscow's trust in Western Europe countries has been fundamentally undermined by their manipulation of peace efforts as a tactic to buy time and rearm Ukraine. So he says this: the guys in Ukraine are not the legitimate leaders. They must be changed. We got to change that by making sure we provide a temporary United Nations, managing the Ukraine. How would you do that? Probably with the Russian troops and some other troops mentioned at the end of the article. And then under that, we will organize elections, free and fair elections, transparent, where our people will win. And after our people will win, everybody else goes out and we stay in. And that's it. And we allow the Americans to come and use the little straw to suck dry some of Ukraine's wealth. Good job, Ukrainians. You were fucked from the very beginning. Why? When you were applauding Victoria Nuland's CIA organized tennis in the Maidan, then you screwed yourselves. Sorry. Next time, don't allow your media to be so infiltrated. And then you got Zelensky and you got, everything else is known to you and I. Not to the baboons. The baboons are busy eating each other's fleas. Okay? Alright. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.